Hey, this is Kate, the Daily Tarot Girl, and this is my unboxing video for the Four Tails Tarot. This is a major arcana tarot deck. So, well, first I'll tell you who made the deck. So this is a Taroteca Studio deck, and it's four different... Super cute box, by the way. It's four different sets of major arcana. There's no guidebook or anything. It's just the cards. But it's four different sets of major arcana. So there's no minors. So this isn't your typical tarot deck at all. It's very different. And so each set of major arcana is done by, it says they're done by different artists with the help of AI, so I don't know, it's not clear to me which decks are AI and which aren't, which I would kind of like to know that, because I'll be upfront, I'm not a fan of AI decks at all. I really love hand-drawn art. That's, even like computer-generated art's not my favorite. I prefer the hand-drawn, but let's have a look at these four different sets of major arcana. So let's start with, well, first I'll just briefly show you each set. So this is one of them. This is actually my favorite of the bunch, so I'm going to do that one first. And then this is the other one. This is like a black and white one. And then there's this one. And then the fourth one looks like this. So we're going to start with my favorite of the bunch. I really love this set of majors. So this is what the backs look like. Really nice cardstock. So the cardstock for all of them is kind of like a velvety matte finish, and the edges are black. Really nice quality cardstock. So this set of majors has a very like hand-drawn feel, and it really reminds me of the Dark Mansion Tarot. I actually wonder if it was made by the same artist. I find these cards quite stunning. I have already looked at these cards, by the way. This isn't the first time I'm seeing them. I looked at them briefly before I did this video. This one's beautiful. So beautiful. If there was an entire deck available in this style, not just majors, but like a whole deck, I would definitely buy it. I really, really like the artwork and the style of this deck. This is super creepy. I love this. The Hierophant. And that's just gorgeous. I love that too. So it's going to be interesting to try reading with a deck that is four different sets of majors. I mean, that's obviously going to be I really like this Hermit. This is like one of my faves here. Obviously this is going to be different than reading with a normal tarot deck, but I'm excited to just try it out. I think there's different ways you can read with this deck. So you could just choose one set of majors and read with that only. There's some people that do readings with just majors. I've never done that. I always like using the minors. Oh, this is really, really creepy, and I love this one. Or I think you could do all four of these sets of majors together, and it would just be, different than a regular tarot reading because, it's all majors, but this is really cool too. And I'm going to interview this deck Once I'm finished showing you all the cards, I'm going to walk you through all the cards, and then we'll interview the cards and ask this deck a few questions. Beautiful. I loved this set. This is my absolute favorite set of majors. I love these ones. Okay, so next up, let's do this one. Okay, so the backs look like this. Now this set of majors has more of like a kind of a computer generated feel, which makes me think maybe this one's kind of AI. This one actually reminds me a little bit of the Elemental Wisdom Tarot that Taroteca Studio has, which is actually a gorgeous deck. And I remember with that deck, I was like, oh, I don't know if I love the imagery because it does have kind of like this otherworldly, computer-generated kind of digital feel. But it reads really well, and I really enjoy reading with it. So I kind of got past my initial hang-up with that deck. This is beautiful. I love this Empress. This is a pretty one too. That's quite a stunning strength. And I really like this one. Oh yeah, this one's cool. That's quite a powerful Hanged Man card as well. And Death, that one's really creepy. I like that. I like the creepy cards. Those are my favorites. Okay, that one's definitely not creepy. It's really beautiful. This one's pretty creepy. Yeah, I'm kind of two minds of the more like computer generated art. Like some of it is really effective, like this one's really cool. Some of it looks really powerful, but some of it is just kind of unsettling in a way, to me, in a way that I like can't quite put my finger on. All right, so let's have a look at the next set. Now this is a black and white one. This one is the most different. This one's like totally different from all the others, which is kind of fun. So far I'm liking this set. I know I'm being like super quiet, but I actually really like these ones. I have maybe 2 or 3 black and white decks, and I really enjoy working with them. I'm a big fan of color though, like I love color, but I love all my black and white decks as well. It's just a different experience when you read with a black and white deck. This hermit looks like very heavy metal, very hardcore. He's a hardcore hermit. Of course, I'm going to ask you your opinion once I've shown you all the different Major Arcana sets here, I'll ask you which one your favorite is, but not yet. Ah, the devil is pretty creepy here. All right, so Judgment, one more, the World. Okay. All right, so let's look at the fourth and final set of majors here. And this set of majors also has kind of a computer generated feel to it. As well, but it feels more like a video game, sort of. Like I feel like I'm in a video game with this set. Oh, I just noticed something about this card that I didn't notice the first time. There's like a creepy shadow over the lovers. Interesting. This set of majors reminds me a little bit of like a video game, kind of like a comic book a little bit, video game / comic book, but there's lots of really interesting symbolism and stuff to work with this grouping of majors. I can't wait to interview this deck. This is going to be so interesting to see what the cards want to tell us. So let me know in the comments which group of majors you liked best, and I'll show them to you again briefly so you know what to call them, because they don't actually have names, I don't think. I was looking at the box and yeah, there's no names to differentiate them. Ooh, interesting. It'll be interesting also to compare and contrast. I actually feel like each grouping is like its own universe. It's like it's its own little world that you kind of step into. And it'll be interesting to compare and contrast the majors to each other and how they're depicted. I like the World. This is a good one. This is kind of cartoony, but it's really fun. I feel like it really kind of captures the spirit of the world. Okay. So we had the first deck we had. I'm curious to see which group you resonated with the most. So this one's my favorite. I really like this one. So there's this one that's like kind of, I'm going to call it like the hand-drawn deck. I don't know if it actually is, but it feels like it is. I could be wrong. This one feels more hand-drawn. And then second we had this one, which I would say is the more like kind of computer generated one, digital, I guess you'd call it, the digital one, digital art. And then we had the black and white one. And then we had the, I want to call this one like the video game one, because that's kind of what it reminds me of. Okay, let me know in the comments which one you gravitated to the most. So now we're going to shuffle all the cards together, which feels weird to me because they're like so different. So this feels super weird to be doing this with majors because I've never read from a deck that was, you know, different from a usual tarot deck, like just majors like this. So this will be interesting to see what we come up with here. Okay, so I stopped my video so I could really give this a good shuffle because I know you didn't want to watch me shuffle for like 20 minutes. So I've shuffled these cards. Now I'm going to ask this deck, and again, I'll tell you what this deck is called. So this is the Four Tails Tarot by Taroteca Studio, and it's just majors. It's a majors only deck, 4 sets of major arcana. And I want to ask the cards like, how do you want to be used? How do I read with you? Let's see what card comes up. How am I supposed to read with you? All right. Ooh, the Lovers. Interesting. Okay. Wow. What an answer. Isn't it fun when you ask the cards a question and it gives you like this really cool answer? So I asked, how am I supposed to read with you? And I get the Lovers. And, God, how do I even answer this? I feel like this card is telling me, you know what, don't worry about it. Like, just have fun with this. Don't worry so much. The Lovers is a card of connection. And what I'm getting from this card is, as long as you connect with this deck and take a moment to connect energetically, you can read just like any other deck. So don't overthink it. Don't worry about it. There's also something very divine, very otherworldly about this card that I enjoy. There's something like the Lovers is also about passion, and I feel like this deck is asking me to be passionate about reading when I read with this deck. So let's ask another question. Let's ask, what types of issues do you like to read about? Ooh, the Fool. All right. Okay, so new beginnings. So the Fool is about starting something new, going on an adventure. So I feel like this deck loves to read about topics around like a reinvention of the self, starting something new, whether it's a new project, a new career path, going on some kind of adventure. Anything that involves kind of getting out of your comfort zone and exploring, this deck loves to answer questions around that. So that's going to be fun. And then for my third and final question, I'm going to ask this deck, how can I best connect with you? Just because I'm still having reservations about reading with a deck that's 4 sets of major arcana cards, because it's just so different than what I'm used to. So I'm going to ask, how can I connect with you? The World. Ooh. Okay. All right. Ooh, okay. So the World, there is this connection between earth and sky. So we have the roots going down into the earth, and then we have all these antlers and things and rays going up into the sky. So there's this like, the world is almost like the earth is like this bridge between the physical and the spiritual. So my question was, how can I connect with you? How can I connect with this deck? And it's saying to use this deck as a bridge. So this deck is like a bridge between the physical and the spiritual. And so connecting with this deck involves holding the deck. I mean, I'm just kind of making this up, but like holding the deck, grounding your energy, and then expanding your energy up into the cosmos. And by bringing the earth energy and the cosmic energy into this deck, that is one way to really connect with these cards. And to always look for the spiritual and the earthly in the cards. So every card is going to show you, there's going to be like a spiritual side to each card, but also an earthly side. I think that's true of the major arcana, because the major arcana depict like spiritual phases, spiritual tests, our spiritual journey, but then we also have to apply that to the day-to-day. So when you look at a major arcana card, connecting with that card by seeing the kind of earthly, mundane aspects in it, but also seeing kind of the spiritual and the mystical side of it. Okay, beautiful cards, beautiful message. That was fun. Thank you so much for joining me. So again, that was the Four Tails Tarot, and I'm going to put the link below this video if you want to learn more about this deck. If you want to purchase this deck, I'm going to put that link just below this. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.